I'm a second generation immigrant, so my parents, they immigrated from Nigeria to the UK during the 90s, and then they had me. One impactful thing that happened to me when I was a child was that my father passed away.
Wow, that is so sad. So I guess that also impacted on school.
Yes, 100%. I think it's impacted every single aspect of my life, especially my secondary school experience. I just remember there was a lot of anxiety for me. The fear of failure for me started to come about when I was a teenager. That when it started to really deteriorate, I think was in sixth form. My predicted grades weren't that great, and I remember calling my best friend, and we were both like sobbing on the phone with each other. Like we were like, our lives are over. This is the worst thing in the world. Like we were already feeling, to be quite frankly honest, like really suicidal.
Hello, welcome to Echoes of Our Community. This is a podcast series that looks at real topics spoken by real people with the aim of touching lives, real people's lives, children's lives, people's lives, practitioners' lives, professional lives, especially so that we can improve, we can thrive, we can prosper. So today we're going to be looking at a lovely topic, an interesting topic, but an intense topic at the same time. We're looking at the educational crisis in terms of young people dropping out of school. And I am your host, Margaret Jumi Taribo. And I want to say welcome once again to this podcast. Now, when we look at the educational crisis, there's a lot that can be said. And I'm going to read out some statistics that can give a flavor to what we'll be talking about today before I introduce my guest. According to UNESCO, about 30% of students globally who start university education don't complete their degree. That's nearly 1 in 3 students who drop out before reaching graduation. A 2023 survey by Student Minds UK found out that 57% of students reported their mental health had worsened since they had started university. Nearly 1 in 4 students had considered withdrawing from their course due to mental health challenges. A Higher Education Policy Institute report of 2022 revealed that 76% of students experience anxiety during their studies. Only 29% felt comfortable discussing mental health issues with academic staff. The National Union of Students also reports that 1 in 3 students struggle to afford rent, food, or housing, and travel, and this contributed to their stress levels and their dropout risk. And over 50% of students surveyed in 2023 said they felt unsupported in balancing academic pressure with personal life. Those stats are huge, and that's just the few that I've been able to put together. But the question we want to ask ourselves is, does dropping out of school mean the end of the road? Could it be that there is hope or a different kind of success? Is it possible that the societal pressures or the parental pressures contribute to this? Or is it the blame? Is it an issue with the young people themselves? So those are the things we're going to be exploring today as I welcome a young lady who will be telling her story. And I'll leave you to think, to listen, and contribute where you can later on in the show. So I want to say welcome to IyanuOluwa.
Yes. Thank you for having me on the show.
So Iyanu, it's good to have you. I just want to hear a bit about yourself. Just tell us where you're from. Yeah, just anything really about you.
Okay, starting from the beginning, I'm a second generation immigrant. So my parents, they immigrated from Nigeria to the UK during the 90s, and then they had me in the 2000s. I'm the oldest of 3 children. And one impactful thing that happened to me when I was a child was that my father passed away.
Wow. That is so sad. So how old were you? What was that like?
I was 7, and it was very sudden and incredibly sad. And it's still quite difficult to even like come to terms with. And it's been 15 years. So
I'm so sorry to hear that. And please, if you want to take a time out, because I know it can be a bit emotional, just let us know. Yeah, is that okay?
okay,
And
thank you.
you want to tell us about how has that impacted in your life growing up? You said it's been 15 years.
Yes, yes.
Okay, tell us a bit more.
I think it's impacted every single aspect of my life because the person that you expect to be with you growing up are your parents, and to not have my male parental figure, my father, was incredibly hard, especially because I was very close to him, especially when I was a child. And it's kind of just like the loss of what could have been, the loss of important events, conversations, and touching moments that I missed out on. I think that that is also really hard to come to terms with.
Okay. So wow. So I guess that also impacted on school.
Yes, 100%.
Do you want to talk us through what how was school like? What did you go to? What happened?
Well, my school experience was I all I can remember is not really liking it that much.
Okay.
Not really enjoying it at all. Especially my secondary school experience. I just remember there was a lot of anxiety for me. And the themes of what you touched upon in your statistics really, came to show up in my secondary school experience. Like the fear of failure for me, especially, started to come about when I was a teenager, and how I was perceived by people, and making sure that I looked good in the eyes of other people was really important. So all of those things started quite young.
Did you succeed in hiding for that?
Um, Sometimes yes, most of the time no, not at all.
Tell me more.
I think it was kind of obvious that I was putting on a facade. Yeah, I wasn't very good at hiding my disdain for school. Yeah, and just I felt like there was a lack of support, and because I went to an all-girls school, there was a lot of bullying and rivalry and stuff like that as well.
So GCSEs, how was the exams?
Well, for some things I did well, other things I had to retake. So I know that I was so bad at maths. I remember having to retake that quite a few times before I passed. And my English I retook, but everything else was fine. I think that when it started to really deteriorate, I think was in sixth form.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened in sixth form?
Well, COVID happened. And so I never was able to do my exams, and my predicted grades weren't that great. And I remember getting my results, and just, it was so terrible. I remember calling my best friend, and we were both like sobbing on the phone with each other. Like we were like, our lives are over. This is the worst thing in the world. Like we were already feeling, to be quite frankly honest, like really suicidal. But like, and also I think that because none of my like universities confirmed immediately, it was like a week or two that I got the results, that made me even more anxious, I think.
So did you get the university you wanted, or?
Yeah, I did. And I was excited, but incredibly scared as well.
Okay, so you did go to university?
Yes, I did.
Okay, tell us about that journey.
Well, I remember from the beginning, calling them up and asking if I could do a foundation year because I felt uneasy already. And they were like, it was fine. I remember initially going to my university the first day and being really, really scared. Like not even excited, even though it was the university of my choice and it's where I wanted to go. I remember feeling just really nervous. And I remember arriving there and meeting my roommates and stuff. And I remember the first night, I cried myself to sleep. I was so scared and so lonely already. So I think with my university experience, what you'll find for me anyway is that these things were already there before, but they were exacerbated like when I went to university. So it became even more of an issue.
Wow. So how long did that have to go on for? What happened? Some experiences over there, especially I don't know. Tell us about how was that?
So I was there for 2 years and there were a lot of cons, but there were a lot of pros as well. I really did enjoy going to school. Like I really enjoyed what I was learning for, I think maybe the first time ever. Like I think that I made the right choice in terms of what I wanted to do, which was architecture. And I remember having so much fun with that. But it was all of the social connotations as well. I was literally I think one of the only Black girls in that whole school.
Wow.
In terms of my class, like, and also there wasn't a lot of Black people around the university that I went to. So I already felt like isolated. And I remember just the racism, especially like when I would go out, go shopping, because I come from London, it's very multicultural. There is racism here, but it's not evident like that. But the way that people interacted with me, the way that they would like literally stop what they were doing, move away like I was diseased or something. It was like...
Are you serious?
100%. It was really, really hard. I think that impacted it even more. Like my feelings of, oh, I don't belong here. Like that made it even more apparent. It was horrible. But yeah, I remember, my university experience was not that great. I think those years, I look back on it and I was like, it's like the worst years of my life. And I've been through some stuff. So I remember also, like I told you before, like all of my mental health issues before, they were lingering, but they became worse to the point where I would be like physical, like in terms of self-harm, which was very new for me. I never ever did that before. Like I would rip out my hair because I was so stressed. I remember cutting my fingers and my hands because I just wanted to kind of like a physical, not even just something physical to take away the pain. Like it was terrible. It was really bad.
Did you not have anybody to talk to at that time from school, from anybody? Did you call your mom? What? Who did you speak to?
I did not talk to my mom about those kind of things. Not because I didn't want to tell her. It's just because she, like my view of it was like she's going through a lot already, and she's already so anxious about me moving so far away. I don't want to make that worse for her. So I kind of lied. Like I'd be like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm all right." In terms of friends, I kind of did, but because I didn't have any friends that really like looked like me, it was kind of difficult for them to fully understand my experience. And I did reach out to my school, but I don't think I got the support that I needed, truthfully.
When you say support you needed, truthfully, was that in terms of your mental health or or the studies was it just general support you needed? Tell me more about that.
I think for studying, it was actually really good. My tutors were amazing. I remember if I had any like problems with my education, I would be able to talk to my tutors about it, and they were brilliant. But in terms of mental health, no support whatsoever. I sent so many emails. I called so many times. It was kind of like they were like, "Oh, this is normal. Most people go through this. Most students go through this." And I remember thinking, "Well, I've never felt like this before. It doesn't feel normal to me." So,
wow. And so when did it come to an end for you? University? Did you finish? What happened?
I didn't. I left because it got to a point, it was so bad that I knew that if I didn't leave, I would probably die. And it sounds like very dramatic, but it was true. It got to a point where like I was definitely gonna end my life if I didn't go. And I think I remember finally talking to my mom about it. And I think it was for me, a very hard conversation because she had no idea. And I think it was really it was a struggle for her because she felt, oh, I should have known. I should have felt that she needed help. So it was hard.
So there's some element of guilt for her?
Yes, for sure. And I think for me as well, because I don't want to cause anyone any pain. I don't want to feel like I'm a burden to people. I don't want to, feel like I'm wasting their time, especially then. So it was hard. I couldn't even talk to my friends about it.
So since you left, any regrets?
No, I'm actually happy that I did it. So I know. I know that it wasn't for me at the time. I'm not totally against going to university simply because I really enjoyed the education part of it. When I was going, it was really fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I know in my heart that I will go back eventually. But what is really needed for me is the support. I need to know that there is support for me there in the long run.
So what's happening to you now at this point in time?
So right now I'm doing many courses. So I'm getting into education slowly. I'm warming up to it again. And yeah, it's been a journey, but I'm very grateful for it. I'm happy and I'm hopeful because I know this is not the end for me.
Okay, so there's hope there.
100%.
So if there's any message you'd like to tell our viewers out there, especially with this journey you've been on, what would you like to say, especially with the crisis of people dropping out of uni, dropping out of school? What would you like to tell them?
I would tell them I think your preservation of life is more important than your perception, how you're perceived. And I think that basically things will come in their own time for you. Like you'll bloom and blossom when you do. And it might not be now, it might be in 5 years, it might be when you're 40, but the journey is definitely worth it, I think.
Okay. I suppose it's about building that confidence.
100%.
It can be done. Yeah. And so that is what we'd like to emphasize. There is hope. And we want to encourage every young person out there, whether you're in university, higher education, an apprentice, that there is some things that we can do. There is hope for the future. But it's about having that support network to talk to people, whether at home. And yes, we want parents to not feel guilty about it, but reach out to, to any support systems you have, and let's not pretend or hold back, but believe that we can get support, whether through friends, whether through the system, that you don't need to feel guilty. And so we want to encourage our young people, want to encourage parents, because parents have their perspective as well. So if you have anything you want to say or think about, please subscribe, share, and let us know what you think about dropping out of school, the educational crisis. And I'll see you next time on Echoes of Our Community. Thank you, IyanuOluwa, for coming and sharing your thoughts with us today.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
So much.